Hey guys, Nick here. Welcome to episode 5 of the Notorious Podcast. Today, when I recorded this, I decided to sit down with a friend of mine as a guest. I was intending to make this part a little bit shorter so I can make it a two-parter, but we just ended going on and on and on and talking about a lot of stuff, and I figured it was a lot of fun, and it just wouldn't be fair to cut that short. So the episode is just going to be the part with me and Maverick, even though I said I wanted to try to add something a little bit later. Also, I do want to say sorry this episode came out a little bit late. I did have some trouble with the audio. Me and Maverick actually make a mention that we've recorded before. The audio just got corrupted. It didn't work. So we had to reschedule. It took a little bit more time. I had to do some extra work on it. But it all came out fine. I think the new version of it's going to sound all right. I had a lot of fun talking with Maverick, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thanks. All right, Maverick, we are back.
Hello, hello.
Technically. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Since the last time we tried to record, I actually shaved, which makes me sad.
Oh, yeah, you did, huh?
Yeah, I had a beard growing for a while. I like having my beard, but today I did a photo shoot because I had a couple of reasons. I did a photo shoot because I needed some new pictures for my acting resume. And it's also better to have some clean shaven. And also, one of my coworkers almost got fired for having a beard, so I was like, hey man, beat the boss to it and just shave before the next time they see me.
Oh, no, man. You always wait till somebody to bitch at you first.
Yeah, I know, but...
like when I started the job that I'm at, I had my hair cut super short. Like, almost, like not really? A buzz cut, but super, super short.
Yeah.
And then I just let it grow. Let it grow. Waited for my boss to complain, and she never did. So.
Hey, man. And now you've got a
now it's too late.
Beautiful mane.
Yep. Now it's too late. Now it's done. It's an institution.
Dude, if she calls you on it now, it's her fault, bro. Like, how long ago was this? Did you wait?
About 3 years.
You've been growing your hair out for 3 years and she hasn't said anything? Oh, yeah, dude. She's totally... If your boss calls you out now, it's totally her fault.
No, I mean, like, she likes it, so... But
sick.
I mean, like, you know, that's why I just let it grow in and wait for them to say something.
Yeah, the only reason they didn't catch me is because I work in a restaurant and we've had to wear masks constantly. So I got my girlfriend to make me one that completely covers the lower half of my face, so no one saw it, and I just don't take it off while I'm at work. But that's another reason to cut it, because then it starts like chafing on your face.
Yeah, I could see that. If I had to wear a mask for 10 hours a day, or like 8 to 10 hours, I'd cut it too. It wouldn't even be worth it.
It's pretty bad. Alright, so now that we're all warmed and set up, hello everybody, welcome to the Notorious Podcast, episode 5, I believe. This one I kind of want to do a two-parter. For those of you that don't know already, this is my friend Maverick. We used to do stand-up comedy together. We also did one video a while back where we played a little known game on the Dreamcast called Elemental Gimmick Gear.
Oh, we did.
We did with what's his name? I call him Ducky now because he hates it, but I forget his name. Ren. You remember Ren? Kevin. He went, but what's his other name? He had like a cross-dresser name too, but he hung out with us for a while.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
This was a long time ago, but I remember that game, and I remember that video, and that shit was fun, man. I had a really good time, and I loved the idea that you were going for with, like... I mean, I think everybody that plays video games has something similar to that, where it's like that game that you play, and you're like, man, no one fucking talks about this. No one, like, brings it up. Like, it's just... I don't know how it happens. I guess games just slip through the cracks, but I know you had a bunch of them. You had a huge knowledge of all these games that just never got the kind of coverage that even other games made by like the same companies and shit got.
Yeah, it's kind of like who I am as a person. Like I'm one who always roots for the underdog, even if even if like even if there's no hope for it, because like I'm a sucker for like um outdated dead technology. Like I want a laserdisc player, just because like there's really no actual point to it, right? Because it came out between VHS and DVDs, so it's better quality than a VHS, but DVD's better and more available. But the laser discs were like fucking huge.
Really?
They were huge. Like
Like the
I don't remember. I don't remember how old you are, but when I was in school, they would trot out the old laserdisc player. They'd bring out this huge fucking disc, and like think about the size of a vinyl.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and then like they pop that in, and then it's like, hey, look at pictures of the rainforest and stuff. I'm like, that is ridiculous, and I love it. I want it. I still do. So like, if anybody wants to shoot me a laserdisc player, hit me up.
If anybody hits up Savers or Goodwill and you find one,
Oh God,
shoot it
yes,
at us.
please, yes.
Dude, I love Savers and Goodwill. Like Goodwill, every now and then you'll pick up like, it's weird. It's like the generations that kind of gets not skipped, but like Goodwill has like anything PS2 or original Xbox and before, and Savers is like you might find a PS3. No wires, no controllers, and it might have a broken disc tray. But if you're willing to spend, a couple hours on it, you get a PS3 for like $20.
See, I used to like Goodwill. I would buy from they had a website, Shop Goodwill, but then they kind of figured out what they had, because that was a really good place to get good deals. Like, I have 5 Dreamcasts because
shit!
Yeah, because they just
Dude,
tossed them
sell me
all.
one.
Yeah, I'll give you one. But they just tossed them all in a box, and they're like, here, like $40 for 4 Dreamcasts, controllers, memory cards, and I'm like, all right.
Fuck, really?
Yeah, because I didn't know what they had.
Holy
They were
shit.
they were just like, here's some consoles. They're
That
old,
is-
so they're not worth
that
anything.
is-
But then like after a while, they started figuring out what they had, and
Yeah, I bet.
they started
Holy
hitting like
shit.
eBay prices, and I'm like, fuck you, Goodwill.
Yeah. There's there was a Goodwill that I went to that a long time ago that had the golden Legend of Zelda cartridge, and I was like willing to buy it, but I messaged a couple of my friends. I was like, "Hey, is this worth anything? Like, what's this good?" Like, because it was like $8, but at the time, like, to me, $8 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe it's not worth anything. Because I mean, who hasn't heard of Legend of Zelda? Who hasn't played it? How many of your game friends that you know that like collect games don't have a copy of it? Right? Like, everyone's got it.
Yeah.
So I was also thinking, like, maybe it's just really common. Maybe I can get it elsewhere. Maybe it's not a big deal. So I didn't think about it, and I didn't know. So I left it there. And then one of my friends also messaged me back and was like, oh, yeah, dude, that's standard. It's not a big deal. So I left, and then a couple hours later when my other friends, like, got off work or whatever, or stopped jerking off or something, messaged me, and they're like, dude, $8? Get it now. Get it now and resell it. And I was like, what? Huh? And I went back and it was gone. I felt like I missed out on it, but that's not the only thing I found at a Goodwill that was worth a lot. And one thing I bought was a Super Scope in a box, not in great condition.
Yeah.
The Super Scope was great, but the box was a little beat up. But it also had original posters of Link to the Past and Star Fox 64. I don't know why the Star Fox 64 one was in there, but it was. And it was that weird poster where it was like the Muppet versions of Star Fox.
Yeah.
Like the real weird, gross ones. But I was like, I don't see these very often. I'm buying it. And it was for $10. The Super Scope with those 2 posters.
Also,
And
shout out to the voice actor who played Peppy Hare. He died recently.
Of COVID, or
I think it was COVID. Yeah.
that sucks. I mean, it would have sucked either way.
We're gonna be doing
that's
he's doing a barrel roll in heaven right now.
He's up in the big R wing in heaven, boys. Drop
Do a barrel
multiple
roll!
Fs. Multiple F's in chat for that man, dude. But I actually sold the Super Scope. I sold it to a mutual friend of ours who shall remain nameless. I doubt he'll hear this, but if he does, I sold it to him for the price that we found on Amazon for it. So I think it was like $170.
For a Super Scope?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think that price was accurate. I think he looked at the first link and was like, it's worth $170, and he just gave me $170 for it. And I felt a little bad because I was like, I don't think it's worth all that. So I gave him the Zelda poster with it because I was going to keep him.
Yeah.
But I was like, he's paying me a lot. I know he's a huge Zelda fan.
Yeah.
So I was like, take the poster, man. That's like you're paying me quite a bit. But I kept the Star Fox poster and gave it to another friend for their birthday. I was like, dude, I know you love Star Fox. Here you go. And I gave it to him, and he's like, this is like the worst piece of memorabilia that Star Fox ever came out with, and I'm honored to have it. So I was like, good for you, man. I'm glad I found it for you. You found that nightmare Muppet Star Fox poster. Oh, one thing. Oh, I forgot. One thing I was going to tell you earlier. We got sidetracked. So a while back, have you done a second playthrough of Bloodborne?
No.
Since the first time you played it?
No.
At all? You haven't touched it at all?
No.
Do you still have a PS4?
I do.
Do you own the game?
I don't.
Damn.
I borrowed it.
pretty
I
cheap
borrowed
right
it
now,
off of
actually.
you.
Yeah, but you never got it after that.
No.
Damn.
Because I beat it. It was just kind of like that was it.
Oh, there's so much more though. Okay, granted, I beat the game. I beat the campaign like 4 times before I realized like all the extra stuff in there. And plus, there's DLC. There's the Chalice dungeons. I don't know if you did those at all.
I don't think so.
The Chalice dungeons are like randomly generated dungeons in the game that you find an actual physical chalice that's like a key item in the game. Excuse me. And you go to one of the gravestones, you use it, you use some other expendable items, and it creates an area that you go into, and it's like it's another area, but it's like procedurally generated. So you go in there and you fight some enemies, and you'll learn the place pretty quick, and then there's bosses every floor. So the game is pretty cool. Those are pretty great. The one other thing that I was going to mention to you that I thought was funny that I totally forgot was that when I lent you the game, you were messaging me about like your progress, and you're like, "Oh, I just got to Ebriatis. I just got to Father Gascoigne." And it was making me want to play the game, so I borrowed another copy of the game from another friend of mine. And then I was telling him about it, and then he borrowed another copy of the game from another friend of ours.
What?
So nobody had their own copy for like 3 months.
That's
Everyone
amazing.
was playing someone else's copy.
That is
That's how
amazing.
good of a game Bloodborne is, man. That's why I want so many people to play it. And then the DLC is like, I think we should talk about that. Why is From Software's DLC so fucking difficult to navigate?
I don't know.
Have you played Dark Souls 1, 2, 3?
I played them, but I've never played their DLCs.
Dark Souls, if you've never played Dark Souls 1 DLC, I think that one was the most obscure. Like, Bloodborne was... I haven't actually played Dark Souls 3 DLC either, so I don't know how to get there. So I don't know. But in my experience, like, Bloodborne, what you do is you go to the Hunter's Dream, you pick up an item, and it kind of has a hint that if you finish the game and you read all the items descriptions, that like the main key items, you're like, okay, I think I know where to go. And you're probably right. But Dark Souls 1 is fucking bananas. You have to go to an area of the game that's in early game. You have to kill a specific enemy. You have to talk to the person that spawns when you do that. And then you have to leave and reload the world. And then you have to get to a certain part in the game that's way past the beginning. Like, way past. Like, Anne Rolando.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get there. And then you have to beat Ornstein and Smo. No easy task. And then you have
Snorlax
to
and
go back.
Pikachu.
The what?
Snorlax and Pikachu.
You have to be Snorlax and Pikachu. Dude.
Yeah.
And then you go specifically to another area right away. And then you kill another specific enemy who drops an item. And then you have to examine the item. And then you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the game, go to that same area where you beat the first enemy, which you wouldn't because that area is hidden anyway. And then you go through a portal into the DLC, which the first thing you do in the DLC is a fucking hard boss fight. It's like almost like Dark Souls just didn't want you to play their DLC.
Like, as soon as you walk through the portal, it's a boss fight?
You walk through the portal, you rest at a bonfire, and then you walk down a hallway with no turns, no nothing, into a boss fight.
Nice.
So the only favor they do is give you that bonfire.
Yeah, well, like at least they do that because like.
Well, then it sticks you in the DLC. So if you die, you can't even like transport back to the old world. Yeah, you can't.
So if you're not ready for that boss fight, you're just stuck. Your game state is stuck in the DLC area from now on.
Technically, well, I mean, if you're trying to gung ho it, yes. But the only way that you can actually beat that DLC, or the way you get the DLC is that the way the game designs it is that you have to beat Ornstein and Smough first. So you have to get the Lord Vessel and you have to get teleportation, like between bonfires. So you can warp away.
Okay.
You can leave.
Okay.
But if you just learned that, or you don't know about it, or you're like, I'm just gonna keep gunning ahead, I don't run away from a fight, then you're stuck at that boss fight. And that's the first boss in the game, I think, that it has so many aerial moves where it gets in the air, and it's got long distance attacks that are fast. It shoots lightning at you. It can poison you. It's got heavy damaging attacks where, like, they do only a little bit of damage to you, but they do a shit ton of poise damage. So even if you're blocking, they knock you down right away. So, like, that entire enemy is basically... was pretty much designed to be like, you better be fucking ready for this DLC. Because if you're not, like...
Yeah.
Warp out of here. You have the ability to warp out of here, level up, go do some other shit, and then come back for big boy time.
It's like that flying piece of shit from Dark Souls 3.
Which one?
The Dragon Rider?
Oh, yeah.
I forget his name, but I couldn't beat him.
Nameless King?
Yeah, I think so. I couldn't beat him.
The one that was on the Drake, and then you kill the Drake.
Yeah, and then...
you're like, I won!
Yeah, and then he lands and he
like,
just beats the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking
Dude,
ridiculous. Yeah.
He's fucking tough, dude. Like, every time I play through those games... and I get to a boss that's tough, and I'm like, I beat them finally. It always takes me a few tries. And then I'm always like, yeah, I beat him, I feel good. And then you see these, like, no-hit run-throughs, level 1, using only the fucking leather cestus, the knuckle weapon.
Yeah.
And you're like, I love these games. I'll never love them that much.
No.
Like,
No.
I'll never get to that level.
No. And actually, I haven't beaten Dark Souls 3 because of that. I got stuck in Nameless King, and I didn't want to beat the game and go into New Game Plus without beating him, and then I just kind of stopped playing it. So I need to. I need to beat Dark Souls 3.
I'll give you some good news. The way that Dark Souls 3 progresses its New Game Plus is that it's a choice. You'll beat the last boss, and then it'll take you back to the Firelink Shrine, and then next time you sit at the bonfire in Firelink Shrine, it'll say, like, do you want to start New Game Plus? Or do you want to warp, or do you want to play, or do you want to access Bottomless Box, attune spells? So it's a thing you initiate when you're ready. So if you want to beat the final boss and then go back, you totally can.
Okay. It's been so long since I played it, I'm going to have to start over anyway, just to get, like, a grasp of the game again.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long time. I've actually, I got Dark Souls 1 for the Switch, the whole and
Me too.
I'm itching. I kind of want to play Dark Souls again.
I love that. I'm playing through it right now. I'm playing one run by myself, another one with my brother, and another run with a friend of mine. Yeah. I'm down to start a fourth one, Maverick. I'm very down.
If I do it, I'm doing it solo because I had hope. I had help before for all the bosses, like and everything. Mm-hmm. Just like it was like I did the whole co-op thing with like calling in players to help fight bosses, and then like all the notes and everything people leave.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be, like, a 100% offline run. Just...
Oh, yeah.
Just me against the game, no help. Which I'm not excited about because fucking Pikachu and Snorlax is kind of what has stopped me from playing it so far.
So,
because I hate that group, so I hate them so much.
Are you going to completely ignore NPC summons as well? Because there are, if you're, I mean, you can.
I know there's some like the Onion Knight guy. I forget his name.
Actually, in Dark Souls 1, I don't think you can summon him for a fight. There's one fight that's not a boss that he's there for, like he's physically there for. He's already in the world.
Okay.
But Solaire you can summon, I think, 4 times. Solaire. Lautrec you can summon once. There's a couple here and there. There's like some that you wouldn't really know about because you have to be real specific in how you summon them. And it's kind of weird.
I
But
might
there are
still
some that
I
are
might
good.
still bring in an NPC homie for Pikachu and Snorlax because
Solaire, I think, is the only one you can summon for that, and I wish he was a little bit better. He's good if you're dealing damage fast enough. He's great for that fight because he pulls attention away from you.
yeah. Well, I mean that's it
But-
really. Just because like it being 2-on-1 against those people, like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there are like, I mean, there are tactics to do, but again, unless you know the game like backwards and forwards and you know the hitbox. Like I knew a guy that when he was playing like fighting against them, he knew it so well that he knew exactly where to stand when Ornstein does the big dash stab.
Yeah.
That like the tip of Ornstein's spear would be going through his head, but the hitbox wasn't connecting. So like I can't do that. I'm never gonna learn the game that well.
No,
Hey,
me
it's
neither.
cool. I like to see it, but I'll never do that.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, I don't hold any kind of, like, disdain towards people who love a game that
Yeah.
much. I mean,
Yeah.
like, watching people break a game like that, it's super awesome. Like, I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I'm just
I like,
like that. That's just not me, though. Like, I don't have the patience or the time for that, really, so...
I think the last time I played a game where I was like, I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna do the best thing possible, and I was trying fucking hard to do it, was Persona 3 on PS2. Have you ever played any of the Persona games?
No.
Well, Persona games are like Pokemon but for depressed people. Where it's like you got your characters and there's a plot line and it's great. And I mean, the writing's really good.
Yeah.
The games are really good. But when your character, the main character, has his persona, like all your teammates have their like this is their persona, that it's their alter ego ally that will only ever learn certain skills, will do certain damage. You got your guy that does wind damage, your guy that does fire damage, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But your character is special because they can have multiple. So when you fuse them or you put them together, you get the chance of like, oh, now my ice monster also knows fire damage, so they're a little bit balanced. They can do this. But in the PS2 version, the moves that got transferred from persona to persona were completely random. So if you wanted a persona that had at least one kind of each elemental damage, you're going to be hitting that soft reset every minute, like while doing that. So that's the soft reset, waiting for the icons of the developers to display, waiting for the opening to finish, waiting for the screen to finish loading, waiting for the game to finish loading, going from the save point to the fuse point, and then doing it all again.
Just a lot of grinding.
Yeah, grinding of levels not so much, but grinding of just abilities. Just that is like, God, it's so high. And then they made later games where they made it like, okay, well, now we're just going to make it so that you could choose which moves get moved over. Which is great. And then there were all these fucking hardcore fans that were like, no, that's not the intended experience, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, people were going to grind and spend hours until they got the abilities that they want anyway. Why not just let them get what they want? Like, just save them the
time, right? Because
Yeah,
like,
the time,
you're
that's-
still experiencing the game, except
Yeah.
it doesn't take you 5 hours to get a step that you could have just, like you're still getting the same experience. So it's stupid to like put that kind of like thing on it.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, I was going to say it's like an MMO when they're like, oh, we lowered the level cap because we realized it's taking some people
No, I was thinking
way
that
too long.
I was thinking
Yeah.
that too. I had the MMO thing in mind too. But like the MMOs are supposed to be a grind.
They're supposed to be a
The
grind.
grind
and
is the gameplay. Like
Yeah.
that is the gameplay of an MMO is the grind.
Yeah. That's
Like-
why every expansion has a literal expansion on everything. Level cap, new enemies, new damage outputs, new items, etc. You're just grinding for those things.
Yeah, it's all the grind. I mean, like that's
Yeah.
the point of an MMO, which helped me. I've actually been thinking about doing like playing another MMO,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had a lot of failed experiences in the past.
Same.
World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 11, the Star Wars MMO, and then
Which one's the Star Wars MMO?
the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there was
always think
actually
it's
two.
KOTOR.
So yeah, there was like one released years and years and years and years ago. Not that one. I forget what that one was called.
If it was that long ago, it probably is just called like Star Wars Online or Star Wars RPG or something.
Like I think
Force
I think it
Online.
was out around the same time as like EverQuest 1 or 2. So like just to give you
Oh,
just to give you a time frame of when that came out. That was a long time ago.
It was a while, but right after the movies or some shit.
Probably. Yeah, like so like somewhere around there. So
Yeah, and that's when MMOs were in their like, I don't want to say heyday. I want to say like their beginning stages where people were kind of figuring out what is the benefit of a subscription and stuff like that.
Yeah, kind of like in their infancy, because like that's when EverQuest kind of because like EverQuest was like the first big user base MMO. Like there was like I think it was like Ultima Online that people played, but EverQuest was the first.
EverQuest was definitely in there.
And then there was RuneScape, if that was your bag. But
that is making a comeback right now, or I guess it never died down. But I have several coworkers who are playing it right now, and they've got like 4 or 5 accounts. But it's one of those things where they're playing it for nostalgia, and the grind is almost non-existent in those games anymore, because long ago, people have mapped out like the most efficient route on how to level up every fucking attribute in that game.
I would think so.
Like
I would hope so, right? I mean, like, what's the newest MMO that just came out? Like, what is like the newest one? Elder Scrolls, maybe?
No, there's been the newest one that definitely still has a living fan base, maybe Elder Scrolls. I'm gonna look this up. I'm sure there's more, dude. Like, WoW has so many people.
I mean, because like WoW's still alive and well. It's just like the newest one that was actually released. Because I don't think because like from what I've heard, it takes a lot of money and a lot of time to make an MMO.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, I just googled latest MMO, and I'm seeing Kingdom Under Fire for 2019. Kingdom Under Fire 2, sorry. World of Warcraft, Shadowlands, which is just an expansion.
Yeah.
Magic Legends, which I think is the card game. It looks like it's got the logo on it. I can't see. Temtem, which actually I saw recently. It's like a Pokemon kind of thing, but it's more. It looks a little bit more childish in its designs. It looks a little bit more simple.
Okay.
So but they're saying that like it's early access, so there's definitely more stuff coming to that. There's Bless Unleashed, there's Last Oasis, and there's Population Zero. On that point, give me just a sec. I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick. Give me 1 minute.
All right. Hello. This is the part of the video recording where Nick Thomas of the Nicktorious Podcast leaves the room, and I talk to you guys. Rob has been here the whole time, but Nick hasn't noticed. So let's not tell him until the very end. I'm also going to pick up something neat also to add to this. Give me a second. Power glove.
Alright, my bad. Okay, so we're talking about MMOs. Some of these I've seen. Some of these I've heard like names. Temtem, honestly, is really the only one I saw anything about, and that's just because I saw this, just this video of another critic talking about like what kind of stuff that they're doing, and that they're trying to make it change. They're trying to make it like family friendly. But I feel like MMOs, not to say that they can't be kid friendly, they're not really family friendly, because you're usually playing them by yourself, and it's such a grind. Like, grinds aren't really good for conversation. I don't know.
No, not really.
If that makes sense.
No,
Yeah.
it definitely does. Yeah, I'd say you're right about that.
Yeah, but so there are a few out there, and I'm even seeing some. Those are just 2020, and then Kingdom Under Fire 2. The first one I said was from 2019. And last year, World of Warcraft tried to do World of Warcraft Classic, which I heard a lot of people giving negative reviews. Is that they were trying to roll it, the usual classic thing of like, we're going back to our roots, we're doing this, we're doing that, but just taking away a lot of functions and just making it not as interesting.
No, because there was already a classic vanilla server up, a pretty popular one, but Blizzard shut it down.
Because of World of Warcraft Classic, yeah.
Yeah, so people weren't happy about that.
I fucking bet, dude. Yeah, there's let me see. There's MMOs coming out like every year. But the weird thing about them is like there was one critic I like online who he was talking about where every time an MMO comes out that they're like, oh, we're not trying to be World of Warcraft, and he's like, oh well, you're lying. Every MMO is trying to be World of Warcraft.
Yeah, ever since it came out and blew up. Yeah, if you're not trying to be like World of Warcraft, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, if you're not trying to be like number one, then what the fuck are you doing? And I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's always going to be the first of a big wave of things. Look at what fucking PUBG and Fortnite did. There's tons of clones of that. There's tons of MMOs out there. There's tons of fucking phone games out there right now that are all. I don't know if you've ever tried to download a game on your phone that you're like, I just want a time killer that's not just a puzzle game. Like, there's thousands upon thousands of like Legends of the Blank. World of Blank.
Yeah.
Blank of Tanks. Shadows of Blank. Like, they're all the fucking same. They're all slightly differentiated. Like, it's so fucking weird. It's so fucking bad. And it, like, but at the same time, dude, if it causes competition and people are growing, like, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, I was playing
a problem.
I was playing a Chinese Pokemon knockoff on my phone for a while.
What was it called?
Oh, when I downloaded it, it was called Pokemon Masters. but it's one of those that gets taken down, and then they have to re-upload it with a different name. So it's because it's straight up Pokemon. Like the Pokemon are in there. Professor Oak's in there speaking English. Like
English.
It's hilarious, and I love it.
There was a one, like, me and a friend of mine, like, we like gacha games, but we can't play them for that long. We don't spend money on them. Because it's like, hey, there's always like that faint glimmer of hope in our heart where we're like, we'll play a gacha game and we'll get some good characters early. We'll play the game. It'll be fun. But there's only so many times that you can do the random summon and get a fucking 1-star grunt. And you're just like, I spent 6 hours unlocking this 1-star grunt that I have 14 of already.
Yeah, no,
I don't need that guy.
Yeah, I was trying to play. I downloaded Langrisser because they're like, "Hey, we got characters from Yu Yu Hakusho. We got Yusuke and Kurama."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, dope! Let me get that." And then, like, of course, they're locked behind a paywall. So I unlocked Kurama. Luckily, like, through the stuff they were giving away, but like, I tried to get Yusuke and I couldn't. So I was like, and I spent like money on it. Like, money. I spent like $60 on it just because, like, I was kind of in a rage. Like, give me my fucking character. And they didn't, so I'm like, you know what? I just downloaded this game. I just spent my money on it, so I asked for a refund and I uninstalled the game.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Screw this.
There are honestly, like, there are some phone games out there that I think are great. Like, I know a lot of people have a lot of fun with Tekken, that Capcom card game. There's like strategies out there that, I mean, obviously you're gonna want your good cards. You're gonna want the best card because you want to have the strat or the meta or whatever it is. But, like, even if you don't have the best cards, like, you can still outplay somebody. And that's pretty cool. I have 3 games on my phone right now that one of them I downloaded recently, one of them I downloaded like a year ago, and one of them I've had on there for years. And the only reason I kept them is because they have replay value. They have, like, you don't have to buy anything. You can, and of course, in all 3 of those games, you can totally buy a bunch of shit, but at the same time, like, you can play without buying anything and have a really good level of fun, and I like that. And I can't help but think that the people that design those phone games are getting messages from their peers being like, "You're missing out, man. You gotta hook some whales, bro.
Right, hook some whales.
Gotta get 'em. Fuck. Like, I have a friend in one of the games I play on my phone. It's called Brawl Stars. It's from Supercell, the same people that made Clash of Clans.
Okay.
And it's fun. It's a little two-stick player. You know, you walk around, you aim at the other stick, and there's, you know, arena battles. There's a couple different game modes. And you can get new characters. Like, you can buy them sometimes, or you can get them from loot boxes. And loot boxes, I know everyone hates loot boxes in games that you paid for. But in a free game, I can't say much shit, because it's a free game. Like, if they're going to make some money off of their project, might as well. I'm not going to give them shit for that. But, like, I had a friend where on that game, in a year that I've had it, I've spent maybe $15 on it. You know, like $2 here, $3 here, maybe $5 if it's a good bargain.
Yeah,
but this dude, in like 8 months, this dude has spent like fucking $80 on that game.
I believe it.
And he fucking, like, I was there for him one time. They had was it like the spring sale. Like, spring is starting. Come in and buy, you know, get this for $30, this big bunch of loot boxes and shit. And he's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get the new character they just had. And he opened all the loot boxes, and all of them were just in-game currency.
Oh my god.
All of them, like fucking 10 really expensive loot boxes. And the whole time he's staring at his phone, and I just looked over at him, and I swear I could just see a tear forming in the side of his eye. Because he was a server, and he's like, that was my today's tips. Gone.
All of it gone.
For nothing.
Fucking gambling, man. That's what it is.
Fuck, it is. It's just fucking gambling.
Also, I have a question.
What's up?
Are you looking at the video at all of our chat?
Yeah, I hate my face, so I'm pretty much just staring at it.
Are you not seeing me?
No, I'm seeing you.
Because, like, I've been flashing this the whole time, and I was waiting for you to comment on it.
I was waiting for you to bring it up. I thought you had a bit ready for that goddamn Nintendo Super Glove, or Power Glove.
Power Glove. Now you're playing with power. No, I just... when you
I was like, he's got something ready.
No, when you stepped away,
You slipped it on.
I slipped it on because I wanted to see if you'd notice it.
I did, and I guess I ruined your bit by not wanting to step on your bit.
That's okay. I got something else for the end of the video.
Sick.
So this is just kind of a test.
Your next thing is totally gonna fly over my head too, I think. I fucking hope not. Alright, let's see. Where are we at? We're about 36 minutes in. So, speaking of all these video games, man, actually, I know you've been streaming a lot lately. How long has your stream been going on, first of all? I guess regularly, if that makes more sense.
Yeah, for about 2 months, I think. Yeah, I think about 2 months.
Alright. Have you played... Like, I remember we were, like, at the beginning of this, we were talking about that we played Elemental Gimmick Gear. And because you were saying it was like a hidden gem of games. Not a lot of people know it. And, like, I've got tons of games I want to talk with you about. Are you still sticking with that?
Yes.
Like, unknown games.
Yeah. By the way, I'm glad you brought that up. R.I.P. Gaming Secret Stash. I might bring that back if this ever grows into anything. But that is kind of what I'm doing now. I'm streaming, which is kind of my speed. Earlier we talked about how I root for the underdog. I love the weird. I love the obscure. I love the hidden gem. The game doesn't have to be perfect by any stretch. It's like the equivalent of a B movie. If you've ever seen, I'm sure you have, the movie The Room.
Oh God! Don't you dare compare hidden gem video games to The Room.
The Room is a fucking masterpiece, and I would.
What the?
You better show some respect. Show some respect, you motherfucker.
Fuck off! Oh my God!
It's not true. I did not hit her. It's bullshit. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
How's your love life, Mark? What the story?
Oh, what the story, Mark? It seems to me as if you're the expert, Mark. See, it is the most quotable movie of all time.
You're right. And
It really is.
Bothers me.
And I love shit like The Room. I love Birdemic.
Oh fuck, Birdemic. No.
And being a born and raised El Pasoan, gotta give a shout out to Manos, the Hands of Fate.
Manos, Hands of Fate. All praise upon him.
Hands, the Hands of Fate.
What does he do? He puts his arms out in the fucking cape.
Yeah, man, the master.
God damn.
The master. Yeah, dude. Like, I love shit like that, and I love that in my games, and I love that in my everything.
Manos, Hands of Fate, directed by Jake Bonner.
I mean, music-wise, I like punk, ska, and 80s and 90s hip-hop. So that's where I'm at musically. Like, and I will argue up and down that ska is the best genre of music, hands down.
What's that fucking meme someone posted a while back where they were like, someone once described ska to me as being the music that plays in a 13-year-old's head when he gets extra mozzarella sticks.
Dude, yes. Yeah, no, that like just that feeling of just like pure joy. Just pure joy. Like, how do you not like that? How do you not like that?
Dude, what's that? Dude, you know what a band I actually really like? That's a ska band, I think. Cake.
Cake is great.
Fucking love Cake, dude. I've never heard anyone be like, yeah, Cake's alright. I always hear people be like, Cake's awesome, or like,
who's Cake?
Or Cake is like a fucking nightmare.
And didn't you do like, well, short skirt, long jacket, or comfort eagle?
I love that song, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck, short skirt, long jacket is probably their favorite shit for me.
Yeah, like.
And Going the Distance is how I discovered them because I thought it was the Hercules song.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Was this back in the day of like Kazaa or Imish or like LimeWire where you're like going the distance?
Yes, it was LimeWire.
And you're like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't Hercules. But then you're like, I'm going the distance. He's going for
Hercules.
speed. He is all alone. All right. Okay. Oh, no. In all their songs. Like, Weird Al did like a low-key parody of Cake.
No way.
Yeah, like you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know because it doesn't reference anything in particular. It's a song called "Close but No Cigar."
Really?
Yeah, listen to it. It's a Cake parody because it has that same like oh yeah, oh no that Cakes guy does in all their like pretty much all their like big songs at least, and then it has that like I don't know what it is. I'm not a music like playing music. I'm not that guy, but it's like a noisemaker or something where it goes like that thing.
The little twirly thing.
Yeah,
I don't think that's not music. That's not an instrument. That's just the shit that kids take to like football games. I think.
I don't know.
Like, or whatever.
Like, I don't know, but like it's in a lot of their songs too. So like, if you listen to enough Cake and you listen to Close but No Cigar, it's a Cake parody.
I like that. I want to check that out now.
Like it's not
That's
even
great.
listed as one. Like if you look in like if you look at songs, it's like Eat It, parody of Michael Jackson's Beat It, right? Like
yeah.
But like no mention of Cake at all. But it's clearly a Cake parody.
Maybe it's because he didn't make fun of like the lyrics or the writing or the specific chord progression, but rather the like habits, I guess, that they have in their songs.
I mean,
so
like,
it wasn't like a specific Cake parody, but it's like, come on.
It's like making listen to it. It sounds like a Cake song. Like
I bet
fits.
it would. And it's
Close but No Cigar.
Close but no. Okay. Because for some reason I guess the wording convention almost so sounds like short skirt, long jacket. But fuck. Like what's that other one? I lost my train of thought. It was another fucking parody song. But anyway, yeah, dude, I think we're getting ready to wrap up. I did actually just want to give you a second or a minute or so to shout out all the projects that you got going on. Like we talked about your stream that you're doing right now. So if you want to shout that out and your social media pages.
Okay, and I just looked it up. It's on the Straight Outta Linwood album.
I'm gonna look that up right now.
That was the album with White and Nerdy on it.
Damn, so it's an older song.
Is it?
Right.
It was released in 2006. Is that old? 14 years ago?
Dude, my kid's younger than that, man. Come on.
Oh my god. You don't have children. Shut up.
I stole one. That's what it is. Alright, so what is the name of your stream, my friend?
Alright. So, Maverick TV. I'm on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. I play hidden gems, obscure games, and mods or hacks or randomizers of older games. Classics. Games that you know and love. Some of the games that I've played, I just finished a Parasite Eve run for the PS1. I've never played it, so that was a blind run for me. I just played that, and starting yesterday, I just started a Ocarina of Time randomizer.
Okay. That's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Is it like a? Well, I don't know, because in Ocarina of Time and a lot of Legend of Zelda games, you need a specific first item, like to leave the tutorial level. Is there a chance that like puts a that kind of fucks you up in the first area, or does it just give you the?
Well, some of that stuff is taken away, because in Ocarina of Time, you first start the game by going to the Deku Tree, but you can't get to the Deku Tree without a sword and a shield. You get the sword in the chest, but in my run through, instead of the sword, I got a piece of heart container.
So you weren't able to go to the tree, so did you have to start over?
No, they opened like they made it so the tree part is open, but I wasn't able to get the sword, and you buy the shield in the shop, but the shield's not in the shop either. So I went to the Great Deku Tree, I went inside, but I wasn't able to do anything. Because like one of the earlier rooms, you need the shield to progress. So
right.
So they opened it up to where you could leave Kokori Forest. And so like pretty much like most of the games open up for you. Like I could get the Hyrule Castle, I could get to Lake Hylia, Lon Lon Ranch, Kakariko Village. I could get to those, but I can't get to Death Mountain because I need the letter from the princess. So where's the letter?
So even key items are completely randomized.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's nuts.
So this randomizer is nice. It gives you hints. I don't know if you remember Ocarina of Time where you would see those stones with the design on them and you would hit them and they'd tell you the time.
Yeah.
You could talk to those and they'll give you hints onto where items are. So one of the key items is hidden behind 20 Skulltulas. I need to get 20 Skulltula tokens in order to get that item.
Okay.
So it's like stuff like that. I opened the chest and as a kid Link, and I found the fairy bow, and I'm like, oh, I found the fairy bow, but only adult Link could use the fairy bow.
So you have a weapon you can't use.
As a kid, but they opened that part up as well. So like you could go to the master to the Temple of Time, and you could pull the sword and become adult Link. So like you could openly switch between those two. It's just a matter of I'm trying to find which dungeons I could go to. Even the songs are randomized.
That's weird.
So like if like I went to get the Song of Storms because I was lucky enough to find the Ocarina of Time. So I'm like I'll go to the windmill, learn the Song of Storms, but instead of the Song of Storms, I got the Bolero of Fire, which takes you to the Fire Temple.
Yeah.
But I get outside but see, like, okay, so I'm outside the Fire Temple, but I don't have the Goron tunic, which I can't be in that area for longer than 30 seconds without the Goron tunic. So I went to where you meet Sheik on the bridge, where she teaches you the Bolero Fire, and she gave me the Sun Song.
Oh my god! So the game had never, at any point, like completely halts your progress. It sounds like it's just putting obstacles in your way that until you reach an obstacle where you're like, I finally have the thing I need to pass this.
Right.
And
then yeah, it's randomized in that way where it's like I have okay, so like the forest temple. You find the fairy bow in the forest temple. So I'm like, I have the bow. But you also need the hook shot to get inside. I have the hook shot. Problem. I can't get to the forest temple because one of the Kokiri stops you unless you know Saria's song. I don't have Saria's song.
Don't have Saria's song.
So it's like one of those things. So as soon as I find Saria's song, I can beat the forest temple.
Do you think the game makes adjustments for you where it's like, okay, if you need this specific item and you're trapped in an area, then that item is going to proc in that area so that you can leave?
No. And the thing with randomizers is there's sometimes where you have to do resets. Like I walked into that room in the Deku tree where you need the shield, and I had to reset because there's no way out.
Yeah, because you can't leave the village. Yeah, okay.
So like if you get stuck, you'll have to reset from your last save and go from there. And I'm doing this one differently. I'm playing it on my actual Nintendo 64.
Oh, look at you. Owning some classic Goodwill find technology. Dude, fuck yeah.
This is the EverDrive 64. It loads ROMs onto an SD card. And this is my randomized ROM right here, and that's what I'm playing on.
Nice. And completely legal, of course. We all know. Completely legal.
I mean, I have like 10 copies of Ocarina of Time, so.
I mean, you've earned it.
I mean, like, it's not like I'm pirating the game. I have Ocarina of Time.
I bought every possible incarnation of that game. Please let me play it the way I want.
Well, I mean, I have Ocarina of Time, the gold cartridge. I have Ocarina of Time, the gray cartridge. I have Ocarina of Time, both promotional discs that came out on the GameCube that have that game on it.
Holy shit. All right.
I have Ocarina of Time 3DS, so it's like, come at me, Nintendo.
You have a fucking ton of copies of that game. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
all right, man. Well, yeah,
So that's Maverick TV. You can find me on twitch.tv/MaverickComic, twitter.com/Maverick_comic, and facebook.com/Mavy, MAVY, _TV.
Nice.
I use that because going way back to the beginning of this podcast, Ren used to call me Mavy.
Rip Ren.
So,
rest in peace, bro.
So like that's what I'm using Mavy TV.
Well, speaking of your other handles, Maverick Comic, are you still doing anything related to comedy? I mean, obviously, quarantine's making that difficult for a lot of people.
True.
But
yes.
Have you done anything since we started?
Since the pandemic, no. I've been kind of using this time to expand into other areas, both professionally in many different ways. Starting to stream for one, but also myself and my partner Rita Gonzalez. She's a local comedian as well. We started a production company called Third Wave Entertainment. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Search up Third Wave Entertainment. And our good friend and humble host, one Nick Thomas, will go ahead and post the links for you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I will post the links to everything, man. So you got your Twitch, you got your Instagram, you got a Facebook, you got a couple Facebooks. It sounds like.
Yeah, I have two. One for the stream and one for Third Wave.
Okay. So yeah, man, all those social media links, they will totally be in the description. And yeah, man, just giving Maverick a big shout out to everything he's working on. When I started the podcast, Maverick, you were one of the first guys I wanted to talk to. I loved hanging out with you when we were doing comedy. I loved hanging out with you when you came to my birthday last year, which was not intentionally the last time we saw each other, but just like shit happens. Man, you got life going on. Everyone's got projects to work on.
Yeah, life happens. I used to see you around, and I knew like you had things in your own life that you were taking care of. So I didn't see you around the comedy scene, and real life gets in the way of like, just kicking it on weekends. Stuff happens. But it was good to see you on your birthday, man. I hope after this we could hang out and we could just do some karaoke or
dude, fuck yeah. I love karaoke.
Bring you in to play a game or something.
I'd be so fucking down for that, man. Like, I totally actually want to bring you back on the podcast because I got a list of games. Like, I'm just gonna name a few right now. I don't know if you tell me if you played them or not. But
okay.
Steambot Chronicles on the PS2.
No.
Odin Sphere on the PS2, or Odin Sphere Leifthashir, which was the not remake, but like the updated version. I don't know if I would call it a remake. Maybe not even a remastering, but like a new version of it on the PS3.
A port?
Yeah, but they really touched up a lot of shit. Like a lot. Like I'd have to go in deep with you about like all the fucking things that they changed on it.
Okay.
So I got those two, and then there was a fucking another game I got. Xenogears on PS1.
No, I haven't played any of those. I know of them. I've heard them,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like I know they're all RPGs, and I do love RPGs. My thing is, it's like, especially nowadays, it's hard to find the time. Like Parasite Eve is a great horror RPG, but it's also like 18 hours long, if that.
Really?
Yeah, so
That's
I'm like,
pretty
that is just the perfect amount for me.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
It's like
That's pretty great.
It's like the movie equivalent for me. I think the perfect movie is an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
And 2 hours is kind of pushing it. 3 hours you have to earn. Like Pulp Fiction is 3 hours long, but it's also like 3 movies, so it kind of works.
I think I was, granted, just because I was like a huge fan. Like when Avengers Endgame came out and I heard it was 3 hours, I was like, well, yeah, they're gonna have a lot of shit to tie up.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like that's what I mean by earning it. Like it's like, okay, it's 3 hours. You have like every character that you've built up so far.
Yeah,
like I'll give you the 3 hours for that.
I think they did a really good job
Oh,
in
me
that
too.
movie of giving everybody a moment or a good thing that they did or something. Everybody had some screen time that I think was well used.
Right, like one of my favorite things, which I found like a lot of people knocked, was the whole girl power thing with Captain Marvel leading on like all the other female heroes to go whoop some ass. I loved that.
I thought it was cool.
Like that was
a good
so
one.
fucking cool. And like when I was watching it in theaters, there's this little girl in there. She's like, "Yay!" Like
Yeah.
I'm like, that's who it was for. You fucking like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I hate to use the N word here, but you fucking nerds need to pay attention because these movies aren't just for you.
Absolutely
Like
not.
if anything, these
they're
movies
great.
are especially not for you. Because like they do their best to kind of say, okay, well we know about the comics and here's some stuff we're including that y'all will get, but we're not making $1 billion summer blockbusters to appeal to you.
Yeah.
We want that little girl in the theater saying, yay, when Captain Marvel comes and fucks up shit with Gamora and Nebula and like that's like I love that.
Dude, I like that moment's pretty good. I think they did that, and I'm like one of the people that I know of. I don't know if you're the same. Like, I'm super against pointless things in movies. Like, oh, we have a gay character. Oh, cool. Is it important that they're gay? No, they're just gay because we want to have a gay character. Like,
Right. Well,
Okay,
like
then
your
why?
tokens, right? Like.
yeah, like, but if it means something, like that moment with all the girls was super cool. You know, if there's a point in the story where the person being gay is like a big reveal or a big reason for something that happened, then fuck yeah. That's awesome. And, like, I think that movie was great. I think, like, and this is why I like talking about media with you, man. I get super into it. I could go on for fucking hours. I'm sure you could, too.
Well, next time, man, I just want to say one thing, though. With the, like the whole thing, like, with a gay character or a black character or Asian, whatever, any kind of, like, minority, have them.
Yeah.
Have them be gay. Have them be who they are, but that should
Yeah.
not be their personality.
Oh, yeah.
Like you could, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be, you could have a black person without it being a stereotype.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Absolutely.
could, and you could have a strong black role model without him being Shaft.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong
Yeah,
with Shaft, by the way, but
Yeah.
like, you know, he doesn't need to be Shaft, or like he doesn't need to be a pimp. or something like that in order for us to be like, oh yeah, that's the black guy. Like we're smarter than that. And if we're not, don't play to your lowest denominator. Bring people up, make them think.
I agree. Well, Maverick, thanks a lot for coming on. Oh fuck yeah, Wally. Not Wally. What the fuck? His name's Rob. Oh my god.
Wow, dude.
Lowest denominator, baby. That's where I'm at.
And did you notice him there?
No, honestly, I was looking at that. I thought that was your mic stand for like most.
Right, like because like the mic is right here behind him.
Yes.
So like I kind of wanted to put him there to see if he'd blend in, and I guess
And
he did.
Perfect. I didn't even notice Wally/Rob.
You called him Wally.
I feel like such a fucking idiot. We're gonna end on that.
Yeah, let's end on you being an idiot. And I'm glad that this little Easter egg I put in, like near the beginning of the video, and this was when you were watching too. I put this in when you were talking.
I didn't notice.
You didn't notice. Like the power glove I did when you stepped away for a bit.
And I did notice and then didn't say anything.
But this one I slipped in when you were here talking.
And I did notice and I should have, or didn't notice and I should have said something.
That was a huge.
All right.
I'm glad that paid off. That was yes. I'm very proud of that one.
That paid off in the fucking worst way for me. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for coming to check out the Victorious podcast. I think this is going to be a part 1. We might do a little bit in a minute with Vicky and the Stage Gremlin. We'll throw a little bit up in a second. But Maverick, again, thank you, man, for coming on. I had a great time recording with you. I'd be more than happy to do some more stuff with you, man. Whether it's on your stream, it's on the podcast, or even just like fucking regularly hanging out. You're a fucking awesome dude to hang out with, and I'm glad you could be on with me, man.
Right on, brothers. It was a good time. It was good to be here, and yeah, let's talk some nerd shit, homie. I'm always down for that.
Hell yeah! All right, well, we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye.